This is Vignesh from Sartronica Group. So we are an implementation partner of the Solve System SolidWorks and a technology partner for Siemens Digital Industry Software. So we'll be talking today on the major agenda of automation of bill of material with BOM Creator. So in case if you have any question, queries during the course of session, you can please drop your message on the chat box. We will answer all your queries post finishing the presentation. Right? Great. So yeah, BOM Creator is an add-on tool developed by our team, which works on top of your SolidWorks 3D CAD system, Solid Edge 3D CAD, and Autodesk Inventor. Okay. So since we will be talking more on the subject of bill of materials, so we'll go from the basics. So we create bill of material to understand number of manufacturing parts, hardware, BOP, right? So we need to identify the purchase items, right? So we need to understand what are the different grades of material being used in a machine and what are their respective weight, right? So to understand what are the items which are required to be manufactured outside, which are required to be outsourced or in-house, right? So a bill of material becomes a very critical item for the process of manufacturing, production, planning activities. Without bill of material, it becomes really difficult for us to handle the regular production activity. So so we all are aware that most of us are of SolidWorks users. In SolidWorks, we have some basic functionality for bill of materials already available, right? So when we talk about bill of material in SolidWorks, so there are three types of BOMs: top level, parts only, and indented BOM. The top level BOM gives the representation of items available in the first level of any given assembly or machine. Okay. Parts only BOM gives you the representation of complete all the SolidWorks parts available in a given assembly. So it's a mixed information. It contains the manufacturing part details, the hardware, etc., BOP, etc. Right? SolidWorks indented BOM is a representation of a parent-child relationship BOM. Right? So it gives the complete hierarchical information. What is the main subassembly? What is the subassembly? Subassembly style, etc. So it gives you complete glimpse of the information. Right? So in spite of having this information available in SolidWorks, right, there are certain set of areas where we face challenges. One of the basic challenges what we see is we spend too much time in preparing, uploading BOMs in our ERP and SAP system, right? So now if you look at the manufacturing industries today, most of the OEMs, most of the manufacturing OEMs do have some kind of custom ERP system established or SAP system established in place, right? And now designers are supposed to prepare bill of material in drawing, as well as they're supposed to upload it, prepare it in the respective SAP or ERP system. How do they do it? They manually they manually type each and every part number in respective column of the SAP or ERP system with all the details, or they prepare some Excel or CSV format which is uploaded in our ERP system or SAP system. Both is a manual process. Both of these is a manual process and a time-consuming job, right? So when we say manual process, there are chances I do a mistake. When I'm handling 200, 300, 400, 500 components in day-to-day basis, there are chances I do mistake. And this mistake is not basically identified during the design phase, but is identified during the production of the assembly stage, which actually becomes too late for us. Next important thing is like segregation. In the machine, as I said, there are manufacturing parts, there are hardware, there are BOP, there are a lot of stuff available in the machine, right? So now when it comes to the production, so production's major concern becomes only the manufacturing parts. When we talk about the purchase department, they need the details of hardware and the BOP items which is required to be purchased, right? So when a design department gives a complete bill of materials, they spend time in segregating the respective information and dragging out the required information out of it. Next is delay in delivery of projects, right? So now every projects do have a set delivery date. So if I get an order today for a machine, I'm supposed to deliver it in, let's say, 3 months of time, 4 months of time, respectively, right? So now it becomes really important to plan the projects based on the lead time, right? So if we do not plan or procure items based on the lead time, we end up getting our project delayed. Problem of tracking of drawings. So now designers are supposed to release the drawings. So now we release drawings on day-to-day basis, and we keep a track of in, like, let's say, kind of in some register or an Excel, wherein we keep a track what all drawings have been released, what are information which I've shared to the respective department, right? But at some stage we completely lose the track and we end up re-releasing same drawing again and again, right? Costing for a project, calculating the actualized costing. So now let's say I get an RFQ for a machine, or let's say I've executed a project, need to analyze the budget of my project, right? So this becomes critical to have all the major cost components included in my costing. If we do not include them, we end up getting project budget issues in our project. Next is like the handling of production of multiple machines at the same point of time. The project management is another basic challenge which we see in day-to-day life. So it becomes a really critical job or difficult job for a project manager to manage the project accurately with the minimum scrap and at a minimum point of time, right? So understanding these issues, we came up with a solution which we are calling as BOM Creator. So as I said, BOM Creator has been a tool developed by our team which works on top of your SolidWorks 3D CAD system. So let me take you to the SolidWorks interface directly now. Right. So as I said, this works on top of your SolidWorks 3D CAD system. So as soon as you install it, you get the add-in inside your SolidWorks window, and you can start accessing these information out there. Okay. So like first option you see is the ERP BOM or the SAP BOM, right? So this is nothing but a ready to upload BOM which is generated out of your 3D CAD system, your 3D design data, right? So here what we do is we understand the database of your SAP system, like it's an SAP HANA, Oracle based system, or FinSys, whatever system it could be, right? It could be different industries maybe using different kind of ERP system or SAP system, right? So and every organization may have a different field or different set of information which has to be taken to your respective ERP or SAP, right? So we understand the database, we understand the table, and we do a basic customization through which we can give you an output which can be readily uploaded to your ERP or SAP system or directly integrated to your ERP or SAP system, right? So these fields are customized based on the respective industry requirement. Okay, so how does this come in? So like first it gives you the details of the first subassembly, its respective child, second subassembly, its respective child, third subassembly, its respective child, and the complete top level item. So it gives you the complete glimpse of the complete tree, and this information can be exported or integrated to your SAP system. Or if else you do not want to directly integrate it, you can export it in the required format as CSV or Excel or a PDF format, whichever is acceptable to your system. So that can be uploaded down there. Moving further, there's something called design BOM. Design BOM is nothing but an enhanced version of a SolidWorks intended BOM, right? So it covers the complete information, as I said. So it has the complete information of the main assembly, the complete top level information, a level by level BOM, which I say, right? So now next it covers the sub-assembly quantity, right? Then third sub-assembly, so on, right? Apart from that, it gives you the information of complete finished raw material weight. So this weight basically helps me in planning activity of my project, right? So this again, all this information I'm receiving during my design phase, right? So for the beginning of the planning of the project or for initiating anything, I can just start it during my design phase itself. So I can save a lot of time in terms of while the drawing is being prepared. So that time can be saved in planning activity, right? Next, there's something called part list BOM, part list by type BOM. So this is nothing but a segregated report of different information. As I said, in a machine, I do have manufacturing parts, I do have hardware, I do have BOP, right? So if I want to know what are it's a consolidated list, I would say, of all the manufacturing parts, right? So it adds the complete quantity, gives you a complete consolidated list, right? Similarly, if I want to know only the hardware details, I can click and get the details of all the hardware available in my machine. So it gives you consolidated information. So now you can give this information to the respective department again for the planning and the purchase activity or the production activity. Next, there's something called priority list. So now what is this priority list? So we have been talking about the manufacturing lead time and the purchase lead time. So now let's say for a manufacturing part, if I release a drawing today, it can be made in, let's say, 3 weeks of time. There is a component, if I release a drawing today, it could be manufactured, let's say, in 2 days of time. There is a component, let's say, which could be made in a 5 days of time. So every manufacturing part do have some kind of manufacturing lead time, right? It has its own manufacturing lead time. Similarly, for the purchase items, if we place an order today, it could be, let's say, delivered in 3 weeks of time. There could be item which could be released in, if order today, I would get in 2 days of time, so on, right? So here we help you plan the project activities. So let's say we are categorizing this information in high, medium, low category, right? So now the items with high category are the items which have higher manufacturing lead time. So now items with higher manufacturing lead time needs to be considered first for my manufacturing activity, so that I can have more buffer time. Similarly, let's say the items with medium belong to medium priority part list are the items with average manufacturing lead time, right? So now, so this way I can release these BOM to my manufacturing or the purchase department, wherein they can plan accordingly and make sure your project items are purchased on time, or that manufacturing is done in a based on the lead time, so that your project never gets delayed. Okay. Yeah. Moving further, talking about the tracking of drawings or the drawing release details. So now when I'm releasing drawings to the manufacturing department or any other department, right? So I can have the information, I can keep it tracked. So what we are saying here is you need not maintain a separate Excel or a register for maintaining these records. So all the information can be stored in your SolidWorks file and can be generated and can be taken out at any point of time, right? So you can know which part of drawing has been released to which department, and you need not re-release same drawing again and again, right? So you can have this categorization based on the department wise, right? Moving further, talking about project costing, one of the interesting features of our BOM Creator. So this project costing is basically defined in different 5-6 parameters. So these parameters have been made based on our own experience. Okay. So now if there is any change in parameter or any parameter which is required in addition, you can let us know. We can customize it as per your requirement. So here what we are considering basically is the fabrication cost, consumable item cost, hardware, POP, engineering, packing, and transportation. Right. So in fabrication, what we here do is basically we put in the per kg cost of my component. Okay. So this is a lump sum cost to my company. Right. Let's say for plain carbon steel, I'll put 200 rupees a kilo. So now this 200 rupees a kilo is a lump sum cost to my company, which includes my material cost, handling charges, surface treatment, etc. Right. So these are the costs which you can put per kg cost, or let's say lump sum cost to the organization. So right now I'm putting some random prices. This could vary on the actual basis. Just I'm putting right now some random prices here. Okay. So 200, I'd say, if I say 80, if I say 75, let's say. Okay. So next is the consumable items. Consumable items like paint, lubrication oil, belt, or any such item which is not part of my 3D CAD system but needs to be part of my complete BOM. So those information can be added out here. So there are no consumable items here. So next is the hardware and the bought out items. So let's say I can put some bought out costs out there. Okay. So again, I'm putting some random prices. This is a per piece cost what I'm putting here. Okay. So this option which we are providing is basically to make sure we are covering all the major cost components for our project costing, right? Next, talking about the engineering cost. So let's say it could be the design engineering hours. Let's say I put this is a 150-hour job for me, and per hour engineering cost is let's say 300 rupees an hour. Let's say I need to do some structural calculation on this project. It's let's say it's a 25-hour job, and my per hour cost is let's say 500 rupees an hour. Okay. Next is the packing. So let's say I need to do some roadworthy packing out there. I say my box size is 50 feet by 50 feet by 50 feet, and I need 2 number of boxes, and my cost per cubic feet is let's say 40 rupees per cubic feet. Okay. Next is transportation. I'll say we need a 40 feet truck. and I need one vehicle, and my cost for vehicle is, let's say, 1,20,000. Okay, and I say create report. So when I go and look at this project costing thing, so I get all the required information with respective details, right? So I first have the fabrication, then I have the consumable, since we didn't enter any consumable cost, so there's no cost out there. Hardware BOP, right? The engineering cost, packing cost, and the transportation cost, right? And that's the total project cost. So this way I can get the complete information of the complete project costing. Again, I repeat, if there is any cost component which is missing out, you feel is missing or must be included, you can let us know, we can include that. Going back, a last option is the comparison of machines. Comparison of machines is nothing but like what we are doing is basically we're trying, let's say there are multiple projects in execution, right? And we in a lot of times we see there are a lot of components in common in 2 different projects, 3 different projects, right? So as for practice, what we do is we basically release drawing for different projects individually. So now what we are saying is you need not do that. You can plan all the items together, okay, and you can tell them, you can also add all the information out there, okay, and you can start comparing. And this way, what I can do is basically I can make sure I get the complete details of common items, right? When I say common parts, so this is the total quantity which is required to be manufactured, and these are the respective quantity that's required to be assembled in the respective machine. Okay, so this way I can release the drawings of common parts only once, and I can make sure I can consider all the common parts together, which will eventually reduce my manufacturing scrap, right? And also it will automate the process. Similarly, if I want to get the details of common hardware items, so now it will give me the total quantity of hardware and the BOP items, let's say, right? And that's the required quantity to be assembled. So now purchase department can place a bulk order, wherein they get the information of what are the parts, what are total parts, and they get a volume cost benefit from their vendor as well. Right? So this is again huge saving to my organization. So yeah, if you have any questions now, you can go ahead and please ask. There's a question from Mr. Bhupati. Can we calculate the cost to prices maintained in ERP? Yes, Mr. Bhupati, we can do that. But for that, what we need to do is we need to integrate the database, our BOM Creator database, with the ERP, wherein we will require to pull the information from your ERP system, and we can get that information here and calculate the cost accordingly. Yes, that is possible. We can do that. Can we save costing format or template? Can we save costing format or yes, we can of course prepare a costing format. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can prepare the costing template wherein you can put your respective cost, and let's say if year on year the price changes, you can update it and you can generate updated costing also. Yes, you can do that. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Gaurav. Okay, great. Thanks. Any more questions, please? Can we rename parts or assemblies in BOM? Look, actually, the reports which are generated out of our BOM Creator, we normally keep it right protected so that no manual intervention is done. The renaming or anything that we need to do, you do it before preparing the bill of material. So once you prepare the bill of material, we can have the information in the bill of material. So we normally don't recommend editing of the modification of the bill of material of the renaming of items or parts after the BOM is prepared. But yes, of course, you can, if required, you want us to if you want us to keep it as non-write protected, we can keep that. But we normally recommend to keep it as a write protected only. So, okay, so let's go ahead further. So now with BOM Creator, basically now designers can create complete BOM parts with more ease, right? And the most important thing is we can create it during design phase itself. So we need not wait for releasing the drawings. So we can prepare the BOM as soon as my 3D is complete, right? And now uploading in the BOMs in ERP or SAP system, that's very much easier now. With a click, you can upload the information, right? You can get a detailed BOM, enhanced version of a detailed BOM, complete raw material details, right? You can create a priority list for planning of the activity, planning of the project and all. Okay. So you can categorize high, medium, low, and you can plan your project. You can keep a track of drawing, list of drawings, all the information available with a click of your button. You can decide what are the details of in-house and outsourced items, project costing, comparison of machines. You can compare. You can reduce a considerable amount of scrap, and as I said, the cost to the company. So the key benefits when we talk about BOM Creator is the error-free BOM, right? Expediting. We are just trying to save your time. We are trying to bring out those challenges which basically you have been facing in day-to-day life, right? So which will eventually help you automate your complete manufacturing process, right? Tracking of drawings becomes easier. Calculate project cost becomes easier. Managing releasing drawings of multiple machines at the same time, right? So as I said, this works on top of your SolidWorks, Solid Edge, and Autodesk Inventor. All the reports are created in Excel, so you can be using Microsoft Excel, OpenOffice Excel, any Excel, right? So it can be acceptable to that. So as I said, all the fields, all the information as required by the industry can be customized. So that's the product metrics. So we have 4 modules for BOM Creator Ultralight, which basically covers your information of the complete design BOM with complete raw material details. You have something called the complete part list, segregated part list, as I said, for understanding what are the manufacturing parts, hardware, BOP, etc. Right? You can create priority lists. And next, in light, you have the functionality of integration with SAP system. In advanced, you have all the functionalities of ultralight and light plus. You can have the drawing tracking details, fabrication phase, project costing. In premium, you have the comparison of machine details, right? So BOM Creator is like a standalone application. You can get a standalone as well as network license thing. But for network license, you will have to minimum purchase 3 number of licenses. But otherwise, with less than 3 number of licenses, you can have all the standalone licenses, right? And all the licenses are term license, and it is required to be renewed every year manually. Sorry, renewed mandatorily. Right? You need an Excel installed, and the BOM Creator works only on this system which has SolidWorks or Solid Edge or Autodesk Inventor installed, right? So these are few of our customers who have been using now BOM Creator for a long time now. So Shubham Pack is a manufacturing of packaging, is into manufacturing of packaging machines. Speedway machines is into the manufacturing of pouch making machines. Mugro is into the preparation of this conveyors and automation lines, robotics, etc. Dashmesh is into the manufacturing of agricultural equipment. Competent crimping machinery is into the manufacturing of crimping tools and wire crimping tools, wire crimping machinery. So if you have any more questions, please you can ask. I'm here to answer you. There's a question from Mr. Gaurav. Yeah, yes, you can export thumbnail of part from this BOM. Right, I can show you. I'll show you that. I'll show you that. Yes, we can of course do that. So let's say I export this BOM. You can have the thumbnail of the items, right? Okay, you can get the information, right? You can have this information out there. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Gaurav. Great, thanks. Any more questions? Anything you would like to ask? Please go ahead and ask. If anyone feels like they need to have a individual session or a complete session for their organization, you can contact us for that as well, right? Or if you feel if you need, we also provide a 7 days trial for the customers so that to have a hands-on on the software, right? So that you can have a proper feel and you can actually realize what are the advantages you may get. So you can request conceptual team for the same. If you need a trial version, right, for your use, for your activity and all those stuff, you can always contact us. Yes, the session is being recorded. We can share the recording as well. After the session, we may share you the recording of the complete session, maybe. So if we do not have more questions, can we close the session? Great. I would like to thank everyone again for sparing your valuable time for attending this session. Thank you, everyone. And we will share the recording of this complete project, complete webinar to all of you. And if in case you require if you have any more further queries, you can get in touch with us. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you. Have a very great day. Thank you.